This robber was never caught, and the money was never recovered. Yet, his crime reshaped U.S. aviation security for generations. In 1971, the United States faced a question no one was prepared to answer. How could a single man defeat an entire aviation system? The man called himself Dan Cooper. He boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 in Portland, Oregon, just like any other passenger. He wore a business suit and spoke politely. Nothing about him seemed unusual at all. At that time, airport security was almost non-existent. There were no metal detectors, no ID checks, and no baggage screening. Flying was based largely on trust, a system that was about to be broken. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant. At first, she thought it was just a phone number and pocketed it without a second glance. But Cooper calmly leaned closer and urged her to read it. The note claimed he had a bomb. He opened his briefcase to reveal a mess of wires and red cylinders. Whether the device was real didn't matter. The threat was taken with absolute seriousness. Cooper then made his demands to $100,000 in cash and for parachutes. The plane landed in Seattle, where authorities complied. The money was delivered, and all the passengers were released unharmed. There was no violence, no panic, just a quiet, tense exchange between a lone criminal and the government. After refueling, the plane took off again, now with only Cooper and the flight crew on board. Then came the moment that turned this crime into a legend. As the plane flew south under Cooper's instructions, somewhere over the dark, sprawling forests of Washington state, he did something unthinkable. He ordered the crew to lower the rear stairs of the aircraft. With the ransom money strapped to his body, he stepped out into the freezing wind and jumped into the night, and then he vanished. There were no confirmed sightings, no body ever found, no clear trail to follow. He simply disappeared. The FBI launched one of the most extensive and longest-running investigations in its history. They examined hundreds of suspects and scoured forests, rivers, and mountains for any clue. The case officially remained open for decades. Years later, a small portion of the ransom money was discovered by a boy playing near a riverbank, but that was it. Nothing else was ever proven, but while the robber himself disappeared, his crime exposed a dangerous vulnerability. The U.S. government was forced to confront how susceptible air travel really was. If one man could pull this off so easily, it could happen again, and perhaps on a much larger and more destructive scale. So, a wave of change began. Airports across the country introduced mandatory passenger screening. Carry-on bags were inspected for the first time. Cockpit doors were redesigned and reinforced to protect the